heat like Miami or a heat wave. Bounce back when they tell you no. Debate your greatness and
Hello, good evening, everyone. Good evening. Good evening. It's lovely to see everyone. Very, very, very pleased to be here tonight. And welcome to the Flair Debate Show. Give yourself another round of applause, please. Thank you. Excellent. Just to explain quickly, thank you, Joe, our lovely DJ. We are going to have a debate format today, meshed with entertainment. So we have performance for you, and we have a very passionate topic today as well. Whoever who was here last month, thank you for coming, thank you for supporting. See some really new faces and some old faces, so really looking to expand and make this grow even bigger. The idea behind the show is to get everyone debating, basically, about topical issues, articulating arguments that they want to put out there in a controlled environment. We also, in terms of concept as well, there's a flair round to it. So part and parcel of what we're trying to do is having people deliver their debates via a talented, whatever talent they have. So be it music, singing, rapping, or poetry. So I'm hoping you will get to see the concept in its entirety today. Once again, I want to thank you for coming today. It's going to be a very, very busy show. So without further ado, I want to introduce our guest judges. They are three individuals who are relatively successful in their industry. We have a teacher, we have a PR expert, marketing, and we have a comedian as well, who's going to be performing for you later. So that's a good look. So I will start with introducing our first guest judge, and that is Ramon Davis. Please give him a warm round of applause. Thank you very much. Ramon hails from America, so you're going to be hearing some isms that you're not necessarily used to, particularly with the topic. Our next guest judge is Katie Shidrova, and she's an English teacher at St. Matthew Academy. Please give her a warm round of applause. And last but not least, we have Travis J, the comedian. Warm round of applause, thank you for Travis. Travis actually has a dual role today. He's going to be performing and guest judging, so.
Like Miami or a heat wave. Bounce back when they tell you no.
Okay, we're going to introduce the debating teams. These guys are pros. You know, they are used to debating in the British parliamentary style, which is quite rigid. So technically speaking, this is a first for them. So I'm going to welcome, without further ado, Team Red, who are opposing the argument of does religion do more harm than good. So I'd like to introduce Team Red, please. Can you come forward? That's Trish T, David. And we've got the second team, Team Blue, who are going to be arguing for does religion do more harm than good in society. Please give them a warm round of applause. A quick run through as to how the evening's going to go. So we're going to kick off with the debates, get the guest judges to critique, and then we're going to go into performance. I believe we have Hayley performing first. Hayley Cassidy. I'm looking forward to seeing her perform. We also have Ella Marie later on, and last but not least, Travis J. So really, 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 really looking forward to the show. It's going to be a very, very good one today. And we're going to kick this off now with Ade, who's going to step up and argue against the notion of does religion do more harm than good. So please welcome him onto the stage. Thank you very much, Ade.
Like Miami or a heat wave. Bounce back when they tell you no.
Evening, guys. I'm going to basically be arguing why religion does not do more harm than good. If we look at the current society that we live in, there's currently a perception that religion is causing division, it's causing segregation, it's causing the killing of many innocent young people. But however, I think that's nonsense for the following reasons. Many people use religion as a symbol of their convenience. They use it for their own personal agendas. I see it as a point scoring. It's almost like the saying that a devil in sheep's clothing. That's the way I see them. They're very misunderstood. Religion gives a sense of journey and direction. I'll give you a quick example. For example, if you don't know where you're going to, a certain location, what you will use is your GPRS. The GPRS is almost what allows you to get to your destination. Religion is like the GPRS of a man's life. It gives them a sense of direction. It gives them a sense of well-being. Because it's through religion, it allows them to attain where they want to go to. And if you were to remove the GPRS, which is religion, from a man's life, ask yourself, would they have a sense of purpose? Would they have a sense of direction? Where is that very religion that defines where they're going? Religion is a sense of life. It's what gives them a sense of them living. It's like I ask yourself, can a plant start if it doesn't have a seed? It's through the seed that the plant grows. And religion is like the seed. And it's through them following which defines their moral values that they're able to grow. It's like another example I like to give you. It's like, if you remove the heart of a man from his body, ask yourself, would he still live? Religion is the heart of a man, which keeps him alive, which keeps him waking up every single day and saying, thank you, Lord. Or to whoever you serve, that thank you, Lord, for keeping me. It keeps them alive. Like, if you look at it in terms of history, like Muhammad Gandhi, when he fought the British Raj in India, he didn't use guns, he didn't use knives, he used the principle of non-violence. It's called, in Hinduism, it's called ashma, which is non-violence. And he was able to reach a peace solution without war. If you look at it, for example, in terms of South Africa, Desmond Tutu and the church, during the time of apartheid, when South Africa was in turmoil, he didn't use guns. He brought the church into the community, and he was able to reach a peaceful solution. Like, if you think about it, even in terms of Islam, people say, oh, that Islam is the main threat. Islam is the main threat. No, that is nonsense. Because I'm not Muslim, but I read a bit of the Quran, and it says, like in chapter 2 of verses 190, it says, do not go beyond your limits, because God does not love transgressors. It clearly states that. Just like, for example, if you look at the Bible, for example, it says, blessed be those who are peacemakers. It's like everyone here will be able to identify, love your brother, love your neighbor as you love yourself, things like that. If we go even further, for example, like history supports the hypothesis that it's not the use of war, the causes of war is not through religion, it's through personal and political gain. It's like, I read a little article, like by Charles Phillips. He said out of 1,763 recorded wars in history, only 123 of those are religious wars, which is 7%. But yet again, in the Western media, we're seeing that they say it's religion, it's religion, it's religion. That's nonsense. That is complete and utter nonsense. I can speak for myself as a young black man who grew up, for example, in Southeast London. I can say that it's through religion that kept me going. It's through religion that gave me a sense of identity. If we look at it in terms of the modern wars, most genocides, most ethnic cleanses that you see, the mass murders, such as the American Civil War, the French Revolution, the Russian Civil War, most of these wars are not caused by religion.
1 minute to go.
It's caused by political point scoring. It's caused by those who want to literally, for power. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. So those who want power want more power. And in order to have more power, they will kill those who they see as a threat. Not in the name of God, but in the name of greed. For greed is what kills a man, not religion. Religion is all about peace. It's all about love. Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The previous speaker was very eloquent and told us about how he likens religion to GPRS. I'd just like to take an anecdote from my life. I've recently been learning to drive, and on one of my first major journeys, I was driving from my home in Poole to Waterloo. And it was only after I'd been in the car for 5 hours that I realised I was heading towards the wrong Waterloo, the one that was in Liverpool, ladies and gentlemen. What we say is religion can sometimes be good. It can sometimes provide a meaning for lots of people in lots of lives. And we think we don't want to take that away from people. But what we also say is religion allows certain individuals to use and purport certain passages within religious texts and use it for their own advantages. So we see when people do hate speech and quote from the Bible, ladies and gentlemen, what they do is they take it out of context, but they are able to use it and they are able to be free from critique. They're able to stand up on a pedestal and get people to accept what they're saying, ladies and gentlemen. And we say that this is the most damaging part of religion. The previous speaker talked about Desmond Tutu. And recently in the news, you would have read that Desmond Tutu has just got up and said he does not believe in a God that would persecute homosexuals. Now, that's a good thing, ladies and gentlemen. I hope most of us would agree with that. The problem is, he's not in the majority of religion, ladies and gentlemen. He's not in the majority of the perspective of allowing homosexuals to get married, ladies and gentlemen. And we think that because he is the exception that gets the news, it just shows how far away from what religion should be it has gone wrong. So into doing this debate, we need to look at two scenarios. A world in which religion exists and a world in which religion doesn't exist. in the world in which religion doesn't exist, we imagine things happening in a very similar manner, ladies and gentlemen. We may get slightly less charity. We were willing to accept that. We would probably get slightly more science, ladies and gentlemen, because we wouldn't have the Pope burning all of Galileo's findings. But what's more important is we would get people getting up and standing up to all of the individuals who have used religion to justify acts of hatred. So why are individuals allowed to use religion to justify acts of hatred? What is special about religion? Well, the thing that's special about religion is the fact that none of us in this room can prove that God exists or doesn't exist. The purpose of this debate isn't to say that he exists or not. I have no ability to do that. Science has no ability to do that because he is outside the definition of science. What comes on from this is that it means that it is a question of belief. It is a question of how you think that the world should be formed and also a way of framing your life, ladies and gentlemen. The problem is that there are some people out there who are willing to say, I have access to things science doesn't have access to. I have access to facts that you will never be able to have access to. Why is that problematic? Because those people can sometimes be good. We're okay with them when they're good. Those people can sometimes be bad. And that's where the problems happen. So we see that the British Empire, when it went around doing all the colonialisation, used the language of religion in order to justify its activities, its atrocities that it committed globally. We say the same that happened in Spain and happened with Spain and the extermination of South American natives under the name of bringing Christianity to them, ladies and gentlemen. There was no one who stood up to these individuals. The reason why no one stood up to these individuals is because you can't stand up to somebody who claims to have a religious passage or an access to God that you do not have, because you have no way to engage with that person. You have no way to shape that debate. So what it does is it gives these individuals an ability to convince people. It gives these individuals an ability to stand up. Ooh, that's a bit shocking. It gives these people an ability to stand up on a platform like I'm speaking to you now. But all of you are engaging with what I'm saying and thinking about it, ladies and gentlemen. What we say is when you choose to use the language of religion, you justify yourself in a way in which you can't ever actually rationally engage with it because it's based around something we can't prove. So now you just have to take every aspect of religion on its face value. This is why we see the British public supporting activities to civilise parts of the world and bring Christianity to them, because individuals couldn't engage with that debate, ladies and gentlemen, and certain people who they've rightly identified are bad and use religion in bad ways, So while I say believing in God is neither good nor... Whoa! This is a bit intimidating. Believing in God is neither good nor bad. The activities of people like the Westboro Baptist Church, the activities of other individuals means... Whoa.
Joe, you are evil, man. Okay, everyone has 5 minutes to deliver a debate or an argument. Unfortunately, we have a rule. Joe has to do what he has to do. So, David, I do apologise, but it was still a healthy debate on argument put forward. What I'd like to do now, before we go on to the rebuttals, you ready for your rebuttal? Is put the question out to the audience. So, does religion cause more harm than good? Any opinions, brief opinions thus far?
A question for the red team. It's kind of two questions, but one of them is a lot of these colonialisms and atrocities done by a lot of, let's say, governments or movements. Don't you think a lot of them were successful because there were more of them and they were a lot more heavily armed than a lot of the people that they went and tried to control?
That question was to the red team, specifically to David, right?
If I'm understanding this question correctly, like the British government, shall we say, taking activities when we essentially set up concentration camps, they did so because they had more arms, and they did so because they had guns. But the language they used to justify it back home was, we are bringing Christianity to people who need Christianity. So the problem I have with religion is that people are able to use this language. Sorry.
I understand, but generally it's more accepted when the people are saying that when they have more guns or more arms.
Oh, yes. Like, I think I understand your point in terms of we did horrendous.
It's like if I said to you, oh, okay, I need to bring Christianity to you, and I held a gun to your head, and then you accepted Christianity, it would be a lot more different if I never had a gun.
Yeah, but the scenario that I'm trying to portray otherwise is if the British government weren't allowed to use religion as a justifier for their activities. Oh, there we are. So they weren't allowed to say, this is because we are bringing Christianity to the rest of the world. They don't have an ability to justify it to the rest of Britain because most of the British people at the time weren't around doing these activities. So someone would have got up and said, hang on a minute, this just isn't right what we're doing.
But then that leads to misinformation because a lot of people aren't fully informed about the whole, like say for instance the whole Bible. I myself I'm a Christian, but I don't know the whole Bible itself back to back. So when someone's saying something, whether they're picking a passage that suits their cause, I haven't got an argument to counteract that straight away because I'm not fully informed about it. So then it's misinformation as well.
Yeah, that's true. It is misinformation. People use misinformation in order to deceive. It's a problem in the way that religion is used and has been used, is what I'm explaining. So, by and large, I can see Christianity as being a force for good. But the way it has been used by previous governments is one in which it's not good.
Hi. I just wanted to say, like, I do get what you're saying, and you're kind of saying that they were armed and it's forceful and people may have been afraid and could have forced the public into siding with them, but it's like spirituality and the organised church are very different, and yeah, absolutely, and you can really manipulate, because people are naturally spiritual as human beings, it's like a real evil tool where people can sort of manipulate people into following their cause. So an organised church is really different to spirituality, and governments sort of use that against them. So I'm not really sure who I'm agreeing with, but I just thought I'd say.
Everything was flowing nice in the start. Kept me hooked on your loving thus far, yeah. But then I caught you playing games with my heart. Had these random people come tear us apart. Should've left your ass in the street, no doubt. But I never mind the drama. Ignore my mama, threw away the warning signs. Jaded by the ray of light in your eyes. So focused on your loving, big money stacking, swagger got me tripping. Should've known better, but somehow I still stay. Somehow I still stay. Somehow I still stay. Somehow I still stay. Trapped in a dangerous circle with no trust. I know you saw my missed call light up. You could have just told me where you were. Stupid mind games. You're clearly playing me with your charm, knowing what to say to still get by. You know you frustrate me with your lies, but I never mind the drama. Ignore my mama, threw away the warning signs. Jaded by the ray of light in your eyes, yeah. So focus on your loving, big money stacking, like a got me trippy, yeah. Should've known better, but somehow I still stay. 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 Okay, so only 2 songs. So this is my last song. And this song is the title track for the album I released in January. It's called Stripped. And if you do like either of these songs, you can download my album for free from my website, which is haleycassidy.com. And this song is just literally about kind of letting go of any kind of negative vibes, negative feelings, or kind of energy that people have around you, and just kind of releasing that and stripping it off and just moving forward in life in positivity and doing great stuff. So let's go. Stripped.
Starting from the beginning, yeah. I had a different vision. You appeared to have magician powers, but instead you came and messed it up. Instead you came and messed it all up. Left me in the cold. You left me here with no navigation and no explanation to deal with the situation. So now I'm left to strip and start over, stripping all the layers off, starting afresh now that you're gone. I'm stripping all the layers off, starting afresh now that you're stripping all the walls in this house, getting rid of bad vibes that you brought around. Couldn't care less if you thought that I was wrong. I'm just trying to get where I belong. Yeah. You came here with the talk. You fed all your lies to me and made me believe that you could fix everything within your me. No, 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 no. You left me in the cold. You left me here with no navigation, no, 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 and no explanation of how to deal with this situation. So now I'm left to strip and start over, stripping all the layers off, starting afresh now that you're gone. I'm stripping all the layers off, starting afresh now that you're stripping all the walls in this house, getting rid of bad vibes that you brought around. Cause I can't lie if you thought that I was wrong. I'm just trying to get where I belong. Oh, time capsule, I'll travel with you, erasing all the time I wasted on you. Yeah, yeah. But mama told me to never regret my past, no. So I guess I'll just stay here starting over, stripping all the layers off, starting afresh now that you're gone. I'm stripping all the layers off, starting afresh now that you're stripping all the walls in his house, getting rid of bad vibes that you brought around. Could not care less if you thought that I was wrong. I'm just trying to get where I belong. Oh, 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 no. I'm stripping all the layers off, starting afresh now that you're gone. I'm stripping all the layers off, starting afresh now that you're stripping all the walls in his house, getting rid of bad vibes that you brought around. I care less if you thought that I was wrong. I'm just trying to get where I belong. Oh, no, 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 no. I'm just trying to get where I belong. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, no. I care less if you thought that I was wrong. I'm just trying to get where I belong.
Thank you. Just before I go, what was the name of my album? And where can you get it? Fantastic. What was my name? Fantastic. I hope you enjoyed that. So that was me, Haley Cassidy, stripped and still stay. Thank you.
Positive energy. I just think people be the remedy. Is religion harmful? Used to dodge religion, but only because I'm artful. Now I'll give a chance to advance you.
About religion, and it kind of expresses my idea. And it starts off in a small town in this country, but I'm not going to tell you where. Maybe you can guess eventually. But it's about 2 girls. And from the very beginning, These girls, Hannah and Hayley, seem destined to be friends.
It could all be so simple.
Like Miami or a heat wave. Bounce back when they tell you no. Debate your greatness and flair and let them enjoy the show. I'm always the first to step away when it's on or when it goes down. When it goes down. Even though I have it in me to change my life.